This is a CBS2 News Update. I'm Mary. Calvi, get ready for a hot and humid stretch of weather. Today could even be the beginning of a heat wave. Let's get right to John Elliott with the forecast. Wow, John, here it comes.
It's going to be as hot as Magnum PI on CBS. So here's the deal. We've got pretty skies right now, 82 degrees, winds are calm. Predominant wind northwest as the high builds in, so at least the dew points won't be crazy. Here's proof. Temperatures for 11 o'clock between 76 and 84. Now, these numbers compared to yesterday, already evidence of the heat. We're 7 degrees warmer than we were this time yesterday in the city. However, the flip side, with that northwest wind, dew points are actually down from yesterday. But remember, yesterday we were dealing with heavy rain. So we're drying the atmosphere out. Air quality is still good. We're hanging on to a bearable feel today. It'll feel like the low 90s. But when you combine the heat and humidity, Saturday and Sunday, the concern for your health and safety is heat index values in the city could be 103, and that's like triathlon Sunday. So all these athletes, there's so much stuff going on. The heat index will likely be well above 100 for parts of the area, and then notice we stay in the 90s Monday into Tuesday. Those real feel numbers stay in the 90s through the middle part of next week. So it's not just a one-day drama or a 3-day heat wave. This could be a 4 or 5 or 6-day heat wave. So make sure you're smart, common sense, force those fluids, and watch out for the kids, the mom and dad, the old folks, the pets, everybody, because it's going to take a toll. Mary?
All right, John, thanks so much. We're learning more this morning about the deadly mass shooting at the offices of a Maryland newspaper. The accused gunman reportedly had a long-standing feud with the paper. CBS News' Natalie Duttridge has the story.
Several shots have been fired, possible shotgun, at least 10 shots heard.
Panic at the Capital Gazette newspaper in Annapolis, Maryland, where a shooter opened fire in the newsroom yesterday afternoon, killing several journalists. Reporters recall the moment police say 38-year-old Gerald Ramos shot through the glass door of their office just before 3 p.m.
I saw a guy holding a gun. The door of the Capital Gazette had been blown to pieces.
Police say Ramos intentionally targeted the newsroom, killing 5 people. 34-year-old Rebecca Smith had just started at the newspaper and was engaged to be married. Gerald Fishman wrote editorials and was called the voice of the paper. Rob Hyacinth was a beloved columnist and an editor. John McNamara covered sports for 2 decades, and Wendy Winters was a reporter and mother of 4. 3 others were injured.
He entered the building with a shotgun, and he looked for his victims as he walked through the lower level.
A law enforcement source says Ramos damaged his fingertips so police wouldn't be able to identify him with prints. Instead, they found out who he was through facial recognition. They also found smoke bombs inside his backpack.
We are working on now securing his residence. He does live in the state of Maryland. We are in the process of securing that residence and preparing for search warrants.
This morning, the newspaper left the opinion page blank in honor of their colleagues, writing, "Today, we are speechless."
A Gazette columnist told CBS their newsroom was vulnerable to an attack and had no security. Natalie Duttridge, CBS 2 News.
An arrest in connection with an alleged gang assault on the Upper East Side. A 16-year-old is in custody, along with a second individual accused of beating and stabbing a 46-year-old man before robbing him. It happened on East 75th Street, June 18th. Investigators say both suspects belong to the Trinitarios gang. Police say they were caught on video at a subway station at Lexington Avenue and 77th Street after the attack. The second suspect remains at large. Still no deal on a spending plan for New Jersey as a deadline looms. Governor Phil Murphy and a Democratic legislative leader plan to meet again today to resolve their budget differences. They're at odds over which taxes to raise. They have until midnight Saturday to enact a balanced budget or trigger a state government shutdown that would include state parks and beaches. An update on plans for a tunnel under Long Island Sound connecting Nassau and Westchester counties. The project is now being scrapped. New York's Transportation Commissioner announced it's being abandoned, did not say why. The proposed tunnel had received pushback from Long Island and Westchester residents and officials concerned about how it could impact traffic. A study estimated the tunnel could cost up to $55 billion. A consumer alert now. Some Long Island homeowners got a scare in the mail, a letter saying they were in danger of losing their house for not paying their property taxes. But tax collectors in the towns of Hempstead and North Hempstead say the letter didn't come from them. They say a private Massapequa law firm sent the mailers and that it would normally take 2 to 3 years for the foreclosure process. The law firm claims it got homeowner information from a tax lien auction website and sent those letters.
It shouldn't come out of the blue that somebody would get a letter like this notifying them that they're about to lose their home by an outside private lawyer.
The law firm has apologized to several homeowners who got letters despite being up to date on their property tax payments. Happening today, the fun and games, they are over at Toys R Us. Today, the retail chain's last stores are closing up for good. The company filed for bankruptcy in September of last year. 33,000 workers lost their jobs. The store name could return. A former CEO is reportedly involved in plans to reboot that brand. It is also closing time for a beloved bakery that opened more than 100 years ago, so the rush is on to get a final taste of old New York. CBS2's Cindy Hsu takes us to the Upper East Side.
At Glasers Bake Shop on 1st Avenue and 87th, the line is out the door and down the street.
You know, it's a beautiful piece of history in this neighborhood, and that's quickly changing.
We have been coming to this place for our whole life.
Herb Glasers' grandfather opened the bakery 116 years ago.
This was opening day, actually. April 2nd, 1902, that's my grandparents. Me when I was about 4 or 5.
Right here?
The one in the middle.
Herb is now 65 years old, and while the family owns the building, he says it's tough for small businesses to survive.
We just realized it's time to call it quits. It's just too much, too hard to keep it going.
As word spread the bakery was closing in just a few days, customers flocked to the shop.
Their pastry is above and beyond. The cookies are really, really, really good.
Kevin O'Dwyer is a retired police officer and discovered Glasers in the 80s. He came all the way from Brooklyn for a final treat.
I took the train, took maybe about 40 minutes.
It took you 40 minutes to get here, and then you've been waiting for over an hour.
Yes.
The biggest seller is the black and white cookie, so I had to try.
No talking with your mouth.
My husband loves black and white cookies. He'll do anything for a black and white cookie. I get the remote when I give him a black and white cookie.
We caught Kira Stoller celebrating after she finally made it inside the bakery. And after an hour and a half of waiting...
Okay, how do you feel? I've never been happier. That's what I came out saying. It's so good.
And it's been an incredible run. On the Upper East Side, Cindy Hsu, CBS2 News.
The bakery's last day will be this Sunday, July 1st. And while they're normally open until 7 p.m., that day they'll close their doors once they sell out. Well, Instagram is letting users add a soundtrack to their stories. When you tap to add a sticker to a photo or video, you'll now see a music icon. Tapping the icon opens a music library of thousands of songs. You can select just the part of the track you want. And when your friends are watching the story, they'll hear the music play. And that's your CBS2 News Update. I'm Mary Calvi. Join us in just a moment on my Facebook page for a live Facebook after show. Have a great day, everyone. Try to stay cool out there.